Chapter number 4, Carbon and its Compounds. Introduction. In our daily life, we often use hundreds of compounds which are made up of carbon. Food materials such as sugar, pulses, grains, fruits, vegetables, tea, coffee, etc. are made up of carbon. The fuels like coal, wood, LPG, CNG and petroleum are also made up of carbon. Beside these, our clothes are also made up of carbon compounds such as cotton, wool, silk, nylon and polyester cloths. Have you ever thought, why does carbon form such a huge variety of compounds? We shall learn in this chapter that on the basis of electronic configuration, carbon should be a metalloid because it has 4 electrons in its valence shell. Carbon atomic number 6, so 2, 4 distribution of electrons, but the carbon is a typical non-metal. The word carbon is derived from Latin word carbo, which means coal. As coal has higher percentage of carbon, carbon exists in free state as well as in combined state. The earth crust contains only 0.02% of carbon. In atmosphere, it is found in the form of carbon dioxide. The percentage of carbon dioxide in atmosphere is only 0.03. The percentage of carbon is very low in nature, even though it forms large number of compounds due to its unique properties. All the living organisms are made up of carbon compounds. All the fossil fuels burn in oxygen to produce CO2, which proves that the fossil fuels are the compounds of carbon. The compounds of carbon present in living organisms are called organic compounds. Activity 4.1 to show that the majority of the materials which we use or consume are made up of carbon. Make a list of 10 things you have used or consumed since the morning. Complete this list with the lists made by your classmates and then chart the items into the following table. If there are items which are made up of more than one material, put them into both the relevant columns. Observation. We find that a majority of materials which we use in our daily life are soaps, detergents, books, food, furniture, medicines, mugs, bowls, cups, etc. All these are made up of different materials, maybe of metals, glass, or of clay, etc. But most of them are made up of carbon and their compounds because they produce carbon dioxide and water on burning. Table 4.1. Charting out things on the basis of their materials. Things made of metals are bowls, frying pan, knives. Things made of glass or clay, mugs, water jugs, serving dishes, cups. Others, mugs, furniture, soaps, detergents and shampoo, books, food and medicines. From that we come to conclusion that in our daily life, our day-to-day life, we use majority of carbon compounds, that is organic compounds. The presence of carbon in compound can be detected by its burning test. When an organic compound burns in oxygen, it produces CO2. which turns the lime water milky, and water. CH4 methane when burns in oxygen plus 2O2 gives CO2 plus 2H2O. When this CO2 passed through lime water CaOH twice, it becomes CaCO3 plus H2O. The formation of CO2 indicates that the given compound is made up of carbon. Bonding in carbon, the covalent bond. In the previous chapter, we have studied the properties of ionic compounds. We saw that ionic compounds have high melting and boiling points and conduct electricity in solution or in the molten state. We also studied the nature of bonding in ionic compounds explains these properties. Now, let us study the properties of some carbon compounds. Melting and boiling points of carbon compounds are given in table 4.1. Most carbon compounds are poor conductors of electricity, as we have seen in chapter 2. From the data on the boiling and melting points of the above compounds, we come to conclude that the forces of attraction between these molecules are not very strong. Since these compounds are largely non-conductor of electricity, we can conclude that the bonding in these compounds does not give rise to any ions. In class 9, we have learned about the combining capacity of various elements, that is valency, and how it depends on the number of valence electrons, that is number of electrons in the outermost cell. Now, let us have a look at the electronic configuration of carbon. Carbon atomic number 6, so the electronic configuration 2, 4. 2 in K shell and 4 in L shell. We know that the reactivity of elements is explained as a tendency to attain a completely filled outermost cell. That is, attain noble gas configuration. Elements forming ionic compounds achieve this by either gaining or losing electrons from the outermost cell. In the case of carbon, it has 4 electrons in its outermost cell and needs to gain or to lose 4 electrons to attain noble gas configuration. It could gain 4 electrons forming C4 minus anion, but it would be difficult for the nucleus with 6 protons to hold on to 10 electrons, that is 4 extra electrons. Number 2, it could lose 4 electrons forming C4 plus cation, but it would require a large amount of energy to remove 4 electrons, leaving behind a carbon cation with 6 protons in its nucleus, holding on to just 2 electrons. Carbon overcomes this problem by sharing its valence electrons with other atoms of carbon or with atoms of other elements. But many other elements form molecules by sharing electrons, not only the carbon, in this manner. The shared electrons belong to the outer shells of both the atoms and lead to both atoms attaining the noble gas configuration. The simplest molecule formed in this manner is hydrogen. We know the atomic number of hydrogen is 1. Hence, hydrogen has 1 electron in its K shell and it requires 1 more electron to fill the K shell. So, 2 hydrogen atoms share their electrons to form a molecule of hydrogen H2. This allows each hydrogen atom to attain the electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas, helium, which has 2 electrons in its k shell. We can depict this using dots or crosses to represent valence electrons. Look at the picture 4.1. The shared pair of electrons is said to constitute a single bond between the two hydrogen atoms. A single bond is also represented by a line between the two atoms as shown in figure 4.2. Now, homework. Atomic number of chlorine is 17. What would be its electronic configuration and its valency? Chlorine forms a diatomic molecule Cl2. Now, you draw the electron dot structure for this molecule. Note that only the valence shell electrons need to be depicted. In the case of oxygen, the formation of a double bond between two oxygen atoms. This is because an atom of oxygen has 6 electrons in its L shell. The atomic number of oxygen is 8 and it requires 2 more electrons to complete its octet. So, each atom of oxygen shares 2 electrons with another atoms of oxygen to give as the structure shown in figure 4.3. The 2 electrons contributed by each oxygen atom give rise to 2 shared pair of electrons. This is said to constitute a double bond between 2 atoms. Now, can you depict a molecule of water showing the nature of bonding between one oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms? What would happen in the case of diatomic molecule of nitrogen? Nitrogen has the atomic number 7. What would be its electronic configuration and its combining capacity? In order to attain an octet, each nitrogen atom in a molecule of nitrogen contributes 3 electrons, giving rise to 3 shared pair of electrons. This is said to constitute a triple bond between the 2 atoms. Draw electron dot structure for NH3 and indicate whether the molecule have single, double or triple bond. Similarly, for the methane, which is a compound of carbon, methane is widely used as a fuel and is a major component of biogas and compressed natural gas. It is also one of the simplest compounds formed by carbon. Methane has a formula CH4. Hydrogen, as you know, has the valency 1. Carbon is tetravalent because it has 4 valence electrons. In order to achieve noble gas configuration, carbon shares these electrons with 4 atoms of hydrogen as shown in figure 4.5. Such bonds, which are formed by sharing of an electron pair between 2 atoms, are known as covalent bonds. Covalent bonded molecules are seen to have strong bonds within the molecule, but intermolecular forces are small. This gives rise to the low melting and boiling points of these compounds. Since the electrons are shared between atoms and no charged particles are formed, such covalent compounds are generally poor conductors of electricity. Allotropes of carbon. The element carbon occurs in different forms in nature. with widely varying physical properties. Both diamond and graphite are formed by carbon atoms. The difference lies in the manner in which the carbon atoms are bonded to one another. In diamond, each carbon atom is bonded to 4 other carbon atoms, forming a rigid 3-dimensional structure. But in graphite, each carbon atom is bonded to 3 other carbon atoms in the same plane, giving a hexagonal array. One of these bonds is a double bond, and thus the valency of carbon is satisfied. Graphite structure is formed by the hexagonal arrays being placed in layers one above the other. These two different structures result in diamond and graphite having very different physical properties, even though their chemical properties are same. Diamond is the hardest substance known, while graphite is smooth and slippery. Graphite is also a very good conductor of electricity, unlike other nonmetals. The diamonds can be synthesized by subjecting pure carbon to very high pressure and temperature. These synthetic diamonds are small but are otherwise indistinguishable from natural diamonds. Fullerenes from another class of carbon allotropes, the first one to be identified was C60, which has carbon atoms arranged in the shape of a football. Since this looked like the geodesic dome designed by the US architect Buckminster Fuller, the molecule was named as fullerene. Let us discuss page number 61 question answers. Question number 1. What would be the electron dot structure of carbon dioxide which has the formula CO2? Answer. The electronic configuration of carbon and oxygen can be represented as C6 equal to K shell to L cell 4. Similarly for oxygen, O atomic number 8, so 2,6 in K and L shells respectively. Carbon has 4 electrons, while oxygen has 6 electrons in their valence shells. Carbon needs 4 more electrons, while oxygen needs 2 more electrons to complete their octet. So, carbon shares its 4 valence electrons with 2 oxygen atoms. Thus, in CO2, carbon is bonded with 2 oxygen atoms by double bonds. This carbon in CO2 has 4 shared pairs of electrons. The electron dot structure of CO2 is shown below. Look at this. The electrons of oxygen is indicated by cross mark and carbon by dot in order to distinguish the electrons of carbon and oxygen. And this diagram shows the formation of carbon dioxide molecule. Question number 2. What would be the electron dot structure of a molecule of sulfur which is made up of 8 atoms of sulfur? Hint. The 8 atoms of sulfur are joined together in the form of a ring. Sulfur atomic number 16, so 2, 8 and 6 is the distribution of electrons in shells. The sulfur has 16 as atomic number and its electronic configuration will be as follows. Look at the S16. Sulfur has 6 electrons in its valence shell. So, sulfur shares 2 of its valence electrons with other 2 sulfur atoms and thus it forms 8-membered ring structure. These ring structures have 2 shapes, the octagonal shaped and ground shaped. The electron dot structure of S8 molecule is shown in the figure below. First one shows the octagonal shape of sulfur S8. Second figure shows the ground shaped molecule.